Welcome you to the Hamilton County Board of Election meeting. Today is November the 5th, 2024, and it is approximately 6:37. We have as well, proper notice has been given as required under our Ohio Revised Code 121.22. I'd like to continue the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if anyone who has served our country or is serving our country will lead us in the pledge. Thank you. Thank you, and thank you for serving our country as well. We're going to follow the agenda. Next is the discussion and approval of the board ballot remakes. Ms. Poland?
Yes, Ms. Administrator Krista Critter will be presenting the remakes. I don't believe we have an actual report for this time as we did yesterday. Is that correct? Yeah, she'll just read the numbers off to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Crystal.
Sure. So the first category that we have are damaged ballots. So far we have A2154 through A2157 and A2233 through A2240.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described by Ms. Criddle.
Second.
I'd also like to note that they have been reviewed by both parties, DNR, so thank
That's
you very
correct.
much. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Thank you. The next category that we have are considered, we call them a double bubble. That is, those are the ballots where a voter has colored in in a write-in contest where we have a write-in candidate. They colored in both the candidate and the write-in bubble and then wrote the one that they voted for in the first on that write-in line. So they voted, basically, it looks like they voted for the same candidate twice. So we have to remake those ballots. Those are A2158 through A2162.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described by Ms. Criddle.
I second.
As well, all of the ballot remakes have been observed by both parties,
That is correct.
so I won't have to say that each time. Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The next category are ballots that had stray marks on them, and they were reviewed by the director and deputy director and remade by bipartisan teams. So those are A2163, A2225, and A2226.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The next category are the UOCAVA voters. Those are uniformed overseas citizen voters. Those are A2164 through A2224, A2241 through A2263, and A2273 through A2279.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. The next category are those that have voter intent questions. Those were reviewed by the director and deputy director. The intent was very clear by the voter. They had just made an error when marking their ballot and made their intent very clear. So those are A2227 through A2232.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. And then the last category that we have are, they are single sheet ballots. So our ballot is a 2-sheet ballot, and it does not allow us to scan a single sheet. So we have A2264 through A2272.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
And that's all that we have for now. We will have additional remakes later on tonight.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, just one question for Ms. Criddle. Could you describe for those thousands, tens of thousands of people who are watching us, what happens with these ballots? When did they come in? What's going to happen with them? I think people would be curious about that.
Sure. So the ballots would have come in since the last board meeting yesterday. So they were by Dropbox or by mail. They've arrived here at the board. We've processed and verified that they are acceptable for counting, and then we have our teams of bipartisan teams of staff that open those ballots. And if we discover there's a potential problem, they come back and we have a bipartisan, our director and deputy director review them. We have bipartisan teams remake them just as if they were just exactly how the voter has voted. We just put them on ballots that will actually scan through our system. So if they're damaged and they won't scan or any other issues. And then those, after the board approves those ballots, then we do scan those in for counting.
Thank you. I think it's important for everybody to know that there is not one ballot that's ever handled by just one individual, and it's always, any ballot is handled by bipartisan teams in every respect, so.
That's correct.
Yes, thank you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other business, Ms. Poland?
Sorry, just next on the agenda would be to declare the polls closed at 7:30 p.m. Whoever would like to do the honors.
Madam Chair, I would move that we declare the polls closed here in Hamilton County at 7:30 p.m. on November 5th, 2024.
Do we have a second?
Second. Leave a little longer.
All those in
Second.
favor that we are declaring the polls closed at 7:30 p.m. on November the 5th, 2024, presidential election? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion passes, and we remain in recess at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
What is this?
94 and a 2414.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. Next category, we did have a remote access ballot, and that is A2387.
I move that we accept that ballot as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
Thank you. Next ballot is a stray marks. That is A2415 through A2420.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
The next category are voter intent, and again, those were reviewed by the director and deputy director with they had very clear intent. Those are A2421 through A2427.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? That motion carries.
Thank you. The last category we have were single sheet ballots. So those were A2428 through A2432.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept those ballots as described.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstaining? And that motion carries.
And that's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Krista.
Is there any other business?
No other business.
I move to adjourn.
We're out of recess.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, second.
Okay.
Second the motion to adjourn. And just notifications, 2 special meetings, Wednesday, November the 18th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. in the morning, and Wednesday, November the 20th, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. as well. Those are the next 2 meetings. This meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.